We're back already, baby. Today we're here to talk about episodes 4 through 6 of PASSIONFLIX Black Dagger Brotherhood. And of course, Russet wants to play now. If this is your first time seeing me talk about this, I should have uploaded the first part yesterday or the day before yesterday. The first part is already up. Watch that. Otherwise, you may be very confused. But if you don't care and don't mind entering the movie halfway through, today we're talking about Black Dagger Brotherhood, the adaptation of the novels that came out around 2005 till maybe 2013-ish, about a woman named Beth who finds out that she's a half vampire and is swept into the war between vampires and lessers who are vampires that are made from humans. It's a spiritual warfare between the purebreds and the indoctrinated cult people. And of course, because it's PASSIONFLIX, there's a lot of sex. And it's bad. It's really bad. But I kind of live for it. I don't know, making this part of the video, I have seen the second part again, and it's not good at all. It's actually really bad. There's some comically bad choices that were made in the making of this show. But if they do a season 2, will I be watching it? Probably. And that's just the truth that I need to accept, and perhaps you too as well. It is another attempt at supernatural CGI riddled romance that PASSIONFLIX doesn't have the skill or resources for. Nobody can act. It's poorly written. Everything is so bad, but it's still better than the average PASSIONFLIX thing in that there are more than just scenes of people talking to each other. They actually show reenactments of things that are referenced sometimes, and that is much more than the average PASSIONFLIX work. So yeah, sit back, relax. We're gonna send it over to Admiral Kennie to pay some bills, and then we're back to the Black Dagger Brotherhood, baby. Hello everyone, it's Admiral Kennie, and today's video is sponsored by Calm. Life gets stressful, am I right? Full life be lifin', and life has hands. And sometimes you need a little help managing that stress. That's where Calm can come in. Calm is a fully decked out app devoted to managing stress, anxiety, and getting better sleep. They have guided meditations, breathing exercises, relaxing music, stories to lull you to sleep, and expert-led talks to help manage negative feelings. I'm an anxious girly that needs something to listen to while I go to bed, so having something that's like relaxing and calming is really helpful, because if I didn't do that, I would probably listen to true crime, and as you can imagine, that doesn't help me. So Calm gives me soundscapes or calming stories or inspirational things to listen to and not continue my downward spiral of negative emotions, even into unconsciousness. It's an amazing addition to my mental health regimen. If you would like to check out Calm, feel free to go to calm.com/KennieJD. Use my code KennieJD to get 40% off of a premium subscription. Big thanks again to Calm for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on to the debauchery. Episode 4. Havers discovers that whatever science that he's been doing to do blood transfusions instead of drinking the blood of other vampires has not been working. He's actually very sick from it. If he's not going to drink from somebody soon, then he may actually end up dying. Ignore my ashy knees. Or don't. I don't care. Reminder, he was originally telling his sister Marissa that she would be able to use the transfusion because it seems to be successful, but apparently not as successful as he thought it was. Beth goes to her father's room where she sees that he, over the course of her life, was collecting newspaper clippings, graduation photos, baby pictures throughout the years to show that despite not being able to be a visible and known presence in her life, he had always been there. Yeah. For the first time, she feels like she had a family, even though she couldn't meet him directly. She also sees a picture of her mother, of her dead mama who's dead and passed on and no longer with us. And she's like, oh my God, I kind of know where I came from. But she's also like sad about it. Understandable. Meanwhile, Rage and Wrath go hunting, as they do at night, for the lessers who are trying to take out the vampires. This is where, for the first and only time this entire show, baby, maybe it'll come up again, but it doesn't come up now, Rage turns into a dragon. There's no lead up. No one has talked about this. If they have, I missed it. It's just all of a sudden aggressively bad CGI and a dragon, and it's some wild shit. It's some CW shit. It never comes up again. We never see him become a dragon again. The only thing that we kind of deal with about this is that apparently turning into a dragon makes him behave in a way that isn't connected to his consciousness, so he's not himself when he's a dragon, so Wrath has to calm him down. And once he's back to his regular body, it hurts him greatly. So I'd imagine a whole dragon came out of your back, I can imagine it's a bit much on the system. Back at Vampire House, the weirdest and creepiest of all the vampires, Zadith, which is sadist with a Z, creeps out Beth, threatening to essay her and drink her blood. He is stopped by Wrath, who gets there just in time, and tells him that she is the daughter of Darius. And that is the reason why he doesn't go forth with his plan to be a rapist. This got a weird way about him. Why is he around? And that'll be a reoccurring question I have. Like, all the other brothers seem to be relatively decent people, but Zadist seems to be just as detrimental as the lesser, so why is he here? Apparently they do love him or whatever as their brother, but his twin is the only one that actually is fighting for him to stay in the Brotherhood. His twin is Fury, the one with the golden, platinum, brunette blended bundles. That's his twin, Fury with a PH. And so he leaves because Wrath tells him to leave, and also because he respected Darius. And then Wrath is like, well, when I'm not home, make sure you go into one of the rooms that can't be open and lock it. Or maybe you check your maybe f him up even. Kill him. Unalive him for the senses. Like I said before, Rage's transformation that, again, we never see or mention really outside of this section of the show, it really impacts his body. It's a lot of strain on his body, and he ends up having like really bad indigestion from it, which is wild because Beth's just like, he needs some Alka-Seltzer. It's like, oh, okay. And then she like hums to him and he lays his head on her lap, and Wrath is very grateful for her caring about the members of the Brotherhood. Okay, lore drop. We would see that perhaps because lessers were originally human, they can go out into the sun. Reminder, vampires, like regular vampires, cannot. That would explain why they have the ability to, I guess, surprise attack vampires more often than not, because the vampires have this particular handicap that doesn't allow them to even the playing field. And the lessers are bad motherfuckers. They even killed Wrath's parents, apparently. He would share the story of how he was a noble son and his parents were killed by lessers who were told where they were by one of their servants. And a bunch of them came and killed his parents, but right before they got there, his parents hid him in a closet and locked it, and they didn't hear him screaming for his parents while they were attacking because of all the noise. And when everything quieted down, he stopped yelling, and because of that, he feels like he was a coward and he has all this survivor's guilt, like he should have brought their attention to him. If he was a real man, he would have did that, yada yada yada. Beth, who is the only person apparently in his 300 years that has ever said this to him, is like, maybe, you know, go easier on yourself. And he's like, no one has ever said anything like that before me. Oh, I love you. Oh. I don't know why I made him French. I also don't know why I made him Pepe Le Pew. Again, there's the head lesser. He has a name that they say in the 6th episode, but I don't care because I've already called him the head lesser through this entire script. So that's who that gonna be to me. The one that runs the dojo that Billy Riddle goes to. He also holds meetings for the lessers at the dojo, and he's upset because they haven't met the quota for killing vampires that week. One dude is like, well, the problem is because they don't have no motivation. If they actually felt like there were some consequences to not killing enough vampires, then they would get out there and do it. While saying that, he slices somebody's throat, insinuating, oh so subtly, that if the threat of death was before them, they'd probably get on it a little quicker. The main lesser guy goes up to him and holds him with his powers, vaguely, whatever his powers are, and says, if you pull some shit like that again, I'm gonna turn you into the Omega, which is their god, the one that made the lessers, the one that's opposite the scribe virgin. Keep up. It gets suddenly very homoerotic, which I'm not complaining about. It can get a little more homoerotic, actually. Anyway, Jose, the cute dude that they didn't give enough lines to, the police officer, Jose tells Beth that your Wrath is the main person of interest that we're looking at for these sex workers that keep getting killed. Jose warns her that if you're gonna keep looking out for him, it may be considered obstruction of justice. And she's like, he didn't do it. I believe him. He didn't kill any women. And Jose is like, okay, well, bitch, you better get you a lawyer. But meanwhile, the other brothers think that the person that's been killing all these sex workers is Zadist, which again, why is this your man's? Get your and I fear immensely that if it does get to the point that the show is long enough to get to each of them getting a person, I don't want to see him fall in love. He a weirdo. The hell? Billy Riddle and the head lesser end up teaming up. And during this conversation, main lesser is like, you were a weird ass kid, weren't you? You was killing animals and shit. That's the vibe I get from you. You giving real serial killer vibes. And he was like, yeah, I don't like having consensual sex either. So he's like, ah, perfect. I know what to give to you, a job. Beth, now back home after work, because she went back to work for the first time after Wrath was all scared. Like, you can't go back, the Lesters are out there. Ah, but she was like, I can go out. I'm gonna go to work. She comes back from work, passes out. Oh no, the transition is transitioning. She ended up passing out on the living room floor. And I noticed, you got a cute green couch. Sisters. Butch, who just happens to be outside of her apartment, he ends up seeing her on the floor, luckily. And he calls the ambulance immediately saying that she had a drug overdose. Bitch, why was that your first thought? She could have tripped. She could have been attacked. She could have had a heart attack. She could have had an asthma attack, anything. Why did you go straight to this bitch is on drugs? But she's like, with the last energy she has, she was like, I need you to take me to Wrath or I'm gonna die. Wrath and Torment make up kind of from him calling him a bitch for falling in love with a fucking woman. And then Wrath confronts Zeta saying, I know you the that's been killing all these sex workers. And he's like, what the are you talking about? No, I haven't. Again, if it is plausible that your has done sex crimes, why is this your why is your around? But before they can get to that, here comes Butch with Beth at the door. There's some tussles. There's a tussle between Butch and the other brothers. It's a waste of time. I don't even waste my time. The only thing you need to know is that eventually they lock him in a room because Wrath said, if anyone gets to kill him, it's me. Meanwhile, Wrath is in there trying to make Beth come back alive. Bring me up inside. Save me from the dead. Bring me to life. I know this hit in 2005 for a edit, bitch. Wake me up inside. I can't wake up. And then somebody put the little iMovie title card and it's in like bright green and Comic Sans. This will hit. He gives her his blood, hoping it'll save her from the transition, but it's not looking good because it gotta look a little bit, you know, will she live? Will she die? It's episode 4. She ain't gonna die. While trapped away, Butch meets Marissa and they just a couple now. It's very weird and off-putting because he sucks. He does suck. And Marissa is like weirdly innocent and naive for being like 400 years old, but they're in love essentially immediately. Yay. I don't know. Beth isn't looking so good. So Wrath prays to the great scribe virgin to save her life, but she is still unconscious, leading him to swear to kill himself if she doesn't make it. You're always so dramatic. These romances are always so dramatic, especially with vampires. They gotta go over and above when it's a vampire. Like, bitch, can you just say I'm sad? You always gotta do the most. Episode 5. Beth awakens in a white fog, and for a moment she gets a glance of her father in the mist. But she is sucked back to reality when she realizes, damn, I'm thirsty as f. She ends up drinking from Wrath, feverishly hot. What can I say? Vampires are hot. I never said they weren't. Even the dumbest of vampires can kind of be kind of hot. Even with like the Bret Hart wig and the, you know, I mean, he looked good in them leather pants. What you want me to say? Once she gets a hold of herself, she's like, oh my God, did I hurt you? Oh my God, what have I done? And he's like, I am good. This is great. And he's like, will you marry me and make me your Hellren, which is, I guess, the equivalent vampire speak for husband. And she's like, huh? But eventually she ends up accepting. But the thing that's more important right now is she is in terrible pain from the transition, so that has to happen. Rage finds Marissa and Butch yucking it up, chatting it up, and he goes to beat his ass. He partially does that because as far as he knows, Marissa is still Wrath's Shellin, the vampire he drinks from. But she sends him away, saying, don't worry about him. Here comes Wrath, also being like, I'll f him up if he fucks with you. And she's like, don't worry about it. You don't have to concern yourself with me. He still chokes him up though and tells him, don't try me, bitch. Just because I ain't in love with her don't mean that I don't care about her well-being. That's good. You still got a rapist in the house, but all right. Beth notices that her vision is now 20/20. What I'd give. Negative 5.25 in both eyes, bitch. What would be like to see? I remember back when I was at my prosperity gospel church, they would basically say, if you give enough to Jesus and pray enough, illness will be healed. And so I remember one time I was praying hard as to be able to see. These are cute contacts. Yeah, they're brown. For those of you that ever wonder, do I wear colored contacts? Yes, they are brown. I think it just makes my eyes look bigger on camera. I used to wear colored ones a lot more. I prefer brown. I just like my eyes to pop on camera. And they're one-a-days and I take them off and throw them everywhere. So people sleeping on my couch will find little eyeballs looking at them. But once she's up, she finally is introduced formally to all of the brothers in this very dining room, which I'm gonna take some tips away. That's gonna be my dining room. Look at that navy and the gold accents and the Roman step. Oh, I live. Anyway, they bow to her. This is now the queen or whatever of the vampires. Even though Wrath hasn't officially accepted the kingdom, they're like, oh, this your bitch, we love her, cool. Back to Butch and Marissa. They're falling in love or whatever, and it's so uncomfortable because Butch is an insecure loser. The entire time they're talking, he doesn't notice that she speaks like a Victorian child and believes that this is just an act, like an innocent act, because apparently she thinks that's what gets people going. And he's like, you don't have to do this act or whatever. She's like, I don't know, what are you talking about? And he's like, damn, do people want a virgin so bad that you got to do this act?
I don't understand you.
Whatever, baby. Some guy's so hot up to pop cherries that they actually buy this act.
I beg your pardon?
She's like, hello? And then he keeps going. He keeps saying dumb shit. And eventually she's like, hey, I'm a virgin and no one's ever wanted me. So like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. And she forgives him. Then she disappears and he sees her disappear. And he's like, oh, what the f?
Whoa, shit!
Are you okay?
No, not fucking okay.
I do find it interesting that this is his first time saying, whoa, something's afoot here. Because ever since he entered the home, they've been referring to him as human, as if to differentiate him from them, as in they aren't human. He didn't question like, why are y'all calling me human? And this is where Beth finally tells him the entire story of the vampires, and particularly the Black Dagger Brotherhood, as well as her now being a vampire. She also says that the bomb that went off outside of that club on the first episode was the death of her father. It's crazy. Vicious, the one with the goatee, who I wish had more airtime because he's kind of fine. I don't like the contacts on him though. I get why they have him in because he's a vampire, but like, I bet he fine without. Hold on. Saya Zami. Ooh, bitch, when's his season happening? Distraction. The brothers at the Brotherhood still don't really like Butch, but Butch and Vicious end up becoming friends because they both like the socks. Yep. Red Sox? White Sox? Which one's Boston? Are there two Red Sox, White Sox? But they besties after that. They cool as f. Back with the scientist Havers. Suddenly he's mad at Marissa because she still hangs out at the Brotherhood. I don't know why she would stop hanging out with him. She seems like they're friends. She's been getting her blood drank from that for 300 years. Why would she suddenly stop today? Again, she doesn't drink his blood anymore. They can't be besties. I get it. He was like, oh, he left a bruise on your neck when he drunk your blood. Like, I'm sure that happens. He's like, nah, I don't like that. I want to kill him. Anyway, while he's having this rant, she notices that he's not doing well from his transfusions that he said he was doing well. And then he gets mad at her for some reason and leaves. What you mad at her for? Because you ain't figured it out yet. And I guess also he's frustrated because she's not even drinking Wrath's blood anymore. So like, what's going to happen? He's like, well, I don't want you around Wrath, but I also don't have an option for you. So let me just go be mad. Head Lesser and Billy are now officially in cahoots. And what happens is Head Lesser compels Billy to call his father, tell him you just got a new good job, you're moving out, you won't be able to see him a lot because you're going to be traveling. You can call me on the phone, but you will not see me basically ever. And this, of course, oh so subtly, is because he plans to turn him into a vampire. He takes all his jewelry so that I guess if he dies, there's nothing identifiable on his body, or maybe he's just going to sell the jewelry. I don't know. He is going to be initiated into the lesser people in the Lesser's headquarters, group Lessers, I don't know. Wrath visits the great scribe virgin to ask for freedom from the covenant with Marissa. Again, they've agreed to drop the covenant, but he has to get permission essentially from their god for that to happen so that he can marry Beth. We never see her face or anything. She's just like a glowing light inside of a black robe, evil Kermit type shit. And she chastises him for not taking up the mantle, so to speak, of being the king of the vampires. You've done nothing to unite us, to guide us, to give us hope. Like, you fight as a singular person when you could be leading the vampire race. And overall, you just watch us die because you refuse to take up the job that you're supposed to be doing. So she commands him to lead the vampires. She says she will help him in that endeavor because that is her job. She then gives him an ugly ass ring to give to Beth and says that she will be there at the wedding. And she also grants him the end of the covenant with Marissa. Wellesley, I believe is her name. Tor's vampire. The only other person that's married is Tor, and she introduces herself to Beth upon the wedding. She brings in her dress that she wore to her wedding 400 years ago or whatever. And what's really interesting is the entire time I was watching this interaction, I was like, is this show's Alice? Twilight Alice? And I was like, yeah, she has that vibe. She's very annoying though. Way more annoying than Alice ever was. It's customary, I guess, amongst the vampires to refer to themselves as male and females, but she does it a lot and it's very grating and annoying. It's annoying when anybody does it, but she does it in a particular way that's like, I'm a female, of course I cry at weddings. And I'm like, shut the up. She's also pregnant and says that hopefully she'll be giving birth within a year. Apparently vampire pregnancies are different. And now she's there and they're besties already. They're just besties now. Good for them. Butch tells Wrath that he's probably kicked off the force for breaking Billy Riddle's nose, and this reminds Wrath that he should go kill him, and he'll go try to do it all before midnight, which is the time of the wedding. He said, I got a full night. As they wait for the wedding to start, Marissa tries to throw her virgin pussy at Butch, and again, it's very awkward and very uncomfortable to witness. They share a first kiss. If you ignore everything about it, I guess it's cute. Okay. You're so cute, Russet. I hate you. Can you guys see her? I love her so much. I could cry. Wrath goes after Billy, and for some reason the police are there right on time, just out front of the house that he came out of. The head lesser notices that Wrath has on the Black Dagger Brotherhood emblem or something on his jacket, which makes him know that, oh, this is not just a member of the Brotherhood, but this is King Vampire. This is Wrath. And apparently he never thought that it was a real thing. He never knew the Brotherhood really existed. In order to leave, Vicious wipes everybody's memories and they escape. It seems that it worked on everybody except for lead lesser. I don't know why, but he still seems like, oh yeah, I'm gonna up the head vampire. Oh yeah. He plays creepy very well. He does have that energy. He does have that like, do you want to join my cult? It's not like other cults. It's not a cult. I know I've mentioned cults 3 times, 4. But you can believe me, we're the best cult ever. Wedding time. They get married. The officiant is the great scribe virgin. And once they marry, you know, they're like, oh my God, so happy. But it's time to do one of these Brotherhood rituals. One of which is when Wrath has to get on the floor shirtless and all of his brothers carve her name into his back. That's a bit much. I would have liked, you know, a ring is customary, maybe even a tattoo. Bit much for me. But okay. They also don't spell it just Beth. They spell out Elizabeth. We gotta go do her whole name. But they each go in there, each of them carving a letter of her name across his back. And then they pour probably an antiseptic on it. And there you go. That's the ritual. She now owns his body and he has entrusted it to her. They sing a chant about like long live the queen. There is a first tenor solo by, of all people, Zadist. I never expected him to have such a high voice. Also, he ain't singing that shit. That lip singing was terrible. Meanwhile, Head Lesser turns Billy finally into a lesser vampire, and that shit was foul. Foul. Abrupt. Did not want to see that. There's vomit. He is in so much pain that he vomits while on his back. And it was so abrupt. Genuinely, who the said that was a good idea? It was giving Chainsaw Man, if you know, you know. And I honestly almost turned that shit off at that point. I was like, I've made it so far, but disgusting. But he's a vampire now, one of the lessers, so good for him. The episode ends with Havers now still raging for some reason that he up his calculations or whatever, goes to see if somebody from the Brotherhood would betray him, particularly Zadist. And so he asks him, how much would it cost for you to kill the Blind King? And Z answers, I would do it for free. And Torment happens to overhear the interaction. Dun dun dun. Et2 Zadist, you've always been so trustworthy. Episode 6. For the last and final episode of the season, we have to have our big battle. We have to have all of those things. They are customary, especially a vampire romance of this time period. So let's get ready for that. Wrath and Beth were about to because it is their wedding night, and Torment comes and interrupts him. Wrath is mad as hell. I get it, but they understand that if he's interrupting right now, it's probably something pretty important. Torment comes and says that he overheard Zadist and Havers' betrayal, and everybody's like, oh no, what the oh no. But later, Zadist calls Wrath and tells him, hey, Havers came to me and offered me several $1 million to kill you, just so you know, big dog. After that, Fury ends up calling Wrath, and he's calling to try to save him from whatever punishment he's trying to give because he didn't do anything wrong. And Fury didn't convince him to say something to Wrath. He did that all on his own. He was just approached and he didn't take on the offer. So why should he be punished for that? He also says, like, though he likes to feed from human women, that doesn't mean that he's killed any of them. Girl, whatever. Fuck you. Beth finds out that she has the ability to go out in the sun, which is crucial. Just in time for her to get kidnapped by the Head Lesser after he shoots her with a tranquilizer gun. But because it's daytime, none of the vampires can go after him. Otherwise, they'll just blow up, poof, incinerate. This frustrates Wrath, and this is when we spontaneously find out that he has the power over ice. Seems like a power we should have known about by now. But I guess like the dragon thing, I guess we won't come back to that either. Havers is still obsessed with whether or not his sister is going to see Wrath. So much so that he locks her into her bedroom so that she can't go over the Brotherhood's house anymore. And at this point, this is weird. It's giving I Love a Mama's Boy, but it's sister coded. It's like, do you want to f your sister? You seem really obsessed in a way that's weird. She says though, I'm not even going there to see Wrath. I have found another. I have fallen in love with another. But he's at Darius's home, so that's why I go to see him. Havers says, well, that home isn't safe because flashback and new redcon information. Because when he went up to Zetas, he was like, hey, how much would it cost to kill your brother, essentially? He was like, I'd do it for free, but only if it was to kill you. Now get out of my face, bitch. And I'm like, what type of writing is this? But as he's running away from Zetas, he runs into Head Lesser, who decides to give over information about where Wrath and the Brotherhood reside, and ultimately he goes to kidnap the queen. Around this time, they finally say the Lesser's name, the Head Lesser. I don't care. Like I said before, he is Head Lesser in my mind. Head Lesser and Billy the Rapist take her to a barn somewhere where they're supposedly trying to use her as bait to separate Wrath from the rest of his brothers to come find her. I don't know why they assumed that that would happen, but okay. But he does come to rescue her. He makes an entrance. That's so good. So good. They tussle, as you'd imagine. At some point, Wrath ends up getting stabbed in the back, but it doesn't stop him. He's still able to choke slam one of them. Is that a wrestler? He does kind of have the build. He's too pretty to be a wrestler. Actually, no, there's a lot of pretty wrestlers, but they all disappoint me because they're Republicans. Did y'all hear? I haven't even talked about this on my main channel. Like, you never love a man because all they do is disappoint you. Roman Reigns apparently supposedly had a pro orange man post, and I'm like, ugh. It doesn't surprise me because, again, you're a wrestler. Still hurts, though. Back to the fight, though. They bring out some dogs who are shockingly easily convinced to fight each other. At some point, Wrath gets shot in the neck and the stomach, and with his last energy, he's able to rip Billy Riddle's throat out with his teeth, killing him. About damn time. The Lesser seems to be dead as well after getting a blunt hit to the head, and so now all that's left is for us to have a scene where he may or may not be dying on the floor. He goes down. There's so much CGI blood coming out of his neck. It's awful. It's some of the worst work I've seen in an actual show made by actual people who are in the actual industry of making movies and television now. It is some Birdemic shit. Physics. They didn't give a about how liquids work. It looks like all is lost. Maybe he'll die, but just in time, the brothers make their way over to the barn. Marissa is there as well. She's able to give him some blood. Beth gives him some blood, and eventually he's able to get jump started a little bit, enough for them to take him to the vampire hospital that Havers works at. Havers apparently is a surgeon, the only one that can do this job, because they're like, hey, you get in there to do a surgery. If he dies, we will kill you. In a way that is very vicious, in a way that is compartmentalized. We will kill you slowly. Now, supposedly, Havers regrets trying to kill him now because he apologizes after Wrath's surgery to the other brothers. Needless to say, he survives. He is slowly nursed back to health as they play this awful folksy song. I haven't really talked about the music too much in the show. For the most part, it's non-offensive or unoffensive, but this song was loud and distracting and dissonant.
And you are made of wood. You don't float well.
Grating. After looking to him for a while, Beth goes back outside into the hallway of the hospital where she sees that all of the brothers are asleep except for Zetas, and they kind of make up, I guess, while he stands guard for his room. Once Wrath is conscious, Havers goes in, admits that he tried to get somebody to kill him, my bad, and says, if you want me to die, I understand and I will accept that. Also, Zetas turned me down when I was like, hey, you want to kill him? So I think you should know that as well. Wrath is like, did you want to kill me because I didn't treat Marissa well? And he's like, yes. He's like, okay, well, I get that, so I ain't gonna kill you. Don't try it again, though, because I'll f you up. And he's like, oh, thank you. Jose goes to Butch's apartment, finding that he is not there and nowhere to be found. Basically, he's going to be living with the vampires from now on. I don't know if he'll ever see Jose again, but, you know, he in love with Marissa, and she hang out with the vampires because she a vampire, so this is my new crew now. These my I with the vampires. The Head Lesser isn't dead. He actually gains consciousness and is visited by the Omega, their god, the Lesser's god, and he saves him from death. The season ends with them all deciding to move together. All of the brothers, Wrath, Beth, Butch, Marissa, everybody, they're gonna live in this other home all together, and they all lived happily ever after. Oh wait, there's an after credit scene where we see Darius in the Fade, which is what they name heaven essentially, and he meets with the great scribe virgin who offers him to come back to life. But I guess that's for season 2, bitch, because that's the end of season 1 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood, baby. Absolute garbage. Can't wait for season 2. It's campy. Ooh, you scared me. You look like a big rat when you move sometimes. So that's all, baby. If you guys watched it or watched it through me, most likely, let me know what you think down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on it? What do you want for the next season? Not that they're listening. Or if they are, they don't listen to me because I wanted them to be better at it. They knew being better isn't the way to do that. If you like this video, feel free to like this video. Follow me on my social media, Instagram and Bluesky, both of which are KennieJD. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.